Welcome to another Double Value Commentary. I'm Bill Truax with the only internet commentary guaranteed to be worth at least twice as much as you paid for it. This Double Value Commentary is sponsored by Acme Apron String Removal Laboratories, LLC. After nearly a decade of proven success in helping millennials take their first tentative steps into the adult world alone, Acme Labs is pleased to announce its newest product, Dermal Thickening Agent, or DTA. Approved for use in adolescents as young as 13, Acme's dermal thickening agent is applied topically to all sensitive areas, but is especially effective in and around the ears. In one study, youths who had been treated for at least 3 weeks with liberal amounts of DTA showed a 25% increase in dermal thickness, which corresponded directly to significantly less concern about what they heard and saw, especially through social media. Acme Apron String Removal Labs. Made with care to ensure that you care less. Okay, well, based on some commentary and feedback I've gotten regarding some of my previous commentaries, this one is going to be a lot shorter. And I'm going to actually use an object here. This is a string of dry spaghetti. Now, what I want you to note about it is that it has what is referred to as tensile strength. It's actually hard to pull apart. I'm actually trying here. It's hard to pull apart, but relatively easy to break on impact. That is exactly what happened with the RMS Titanic. The steel that was used to build it back then was probably the best that they could get at the time, but it did not use the Bessemer process, which would have ensured much greater impact strength. So it had tensile strength. It was hard to pull apart, but it had very little impact strength. As a result, when it struck the iceberg, it ripped a huge hole in the side, which other design features couldn't make up for. So the lesson here is that the steel that was used was actually brittle. What does that have to do with our commentary today? Well, previous generations would say that our current generation of Americans and our culture in general is soft. Well, I wouldn't go so far to say that we're soft. I would say that we have become very brittle. We may be tough and hard on the outside, yelling and screaming, but have very little impact strength. We're not able to absorb blows. If you've studied skyscrapers at all, you know that the tallest skyscrapers actually sway in the wind. They sway in order to absorb the wind that comes at it and push the wind around, much like a boxer will bend to absorb a blow. We're not taught to do that. Quite often that positive characteristic is known as resilience. We're just not resilient. We care way too much about what other people say or think, or what we think they think in our world today. What's the cure for that? Well, very simple cure is to really ask oneself, why do I really care what that person says? If I post something on social media, like a commentary video like I'm putting on right now, what does it matter if someone I don't know, whose opinion I have never valued before, all of a sudden says it stinks? Well, I've been doing this now for a couple weeks. I know they stink, and hopefully they're going to get better. But that remains to be seen. The big issue here is the fact that we are just not resilient. We don't absorb blows. We don't really ask ourselves, why do I care what that person says or thinks? One big reason I think that we are like that is we don't like hearing comments that actually hit us where we think we are weak ourselves. We don't want to hear it from someone else because we're not willing to face it in ourselves. So I'm going to challenge folks. The next time you hear something from someone that you don't like, take a look in the mirror and ask yourself if you don't like that, because they may actually be speaking the truth. And then there's something that we need to work on ourselves to improve, to get better, and to realize, hey, that hurt because there was some truth to it. So that's all for this double value commentary. I hope it's a little bit better than the previous ones, and I'll talk to you later.